All right, Tony, just talk about it. Obviously, Dabo said last night he's excited to get the season started. Your thoughts on getting going and what the season might hold?
Oh yeah, definitely excited to get back to work, and obviously you look forward to a little bit of time with your family. But as you reach the end of that, you're obviously excited to get started. And again, we got to hit the ground running. We come out of the gate with a big ball game, and that's going to kind of be the test of where our team is. And again, we got a lot of expectations because of the amount of guys that we got returning. So we're excited to get back to work. The boys have been working hard. They're excited. You're starting to see that the senior leadership is really bought into what Coach Sweeney has asked them to do, and they're excited. So we're excited to get back with the team. And you spend all summer, you're away from the guys. You got the rules where they keep us away from the players. So we're excited to get back with the boys and all link back in and go to work.
Obviously, you get Andre Ellington back, but not a lot of depth. And so the big question surrounding your group would be, will Zack Brooks play, the freshman? You'd love for him to redshirt, I'm sure, but...
Right. Well, you're going to prepare him to play, and obviously you would like to redshirt him because with him where he's at physically, playing receiver and running back in college, you'd like for him to have a year to redshirt to bulk up a little bit. But ultimately, with the situation with Bellamy not returning next season, he's going to have to be ready to play. And you like to think that DJ and Hot Rod could carry the load behind Andre, but at the same time, you understand the position that we play. They take a beating every single play, and there are going to be bumps and bruises. There are going to be times where he's going to have to get in there and grow up fast.
You have some concerns about the depth behind Andre, just the lack of that? I mean, only 3 guys.
Only 3 guys. Obviously, you're concerned from a number standpoint. You'd like to have 5 guys, but I'm confident with the guys that I have and what I saw this spring that I think between those 3 they'll be able to carry the load once Andre needs a break.
Where do you see Zack needing to grow up the most?
The big thing with Zack is pass protection, like all of freshmen. Last year we were sitting here the same thing with Bellamy. He's got to grow from a pass protection standpoint. The big thing with him is he played running back, he played receiver, so he was always involved in the play. Whereas at this level, a lot of times the running back is involved in protection. So the big thing with him is he's a smart young man, and he can pick it up. He just needs those reps. He needs to be able to get back there, stand next to the quarterback, and see the safety rotation, see the corners coming, see the different blitz variations that they have, and that's the biggest thing with him.
As big as he is, did he have to adjust his running style any? I mean, there's concern whether he ran a little too upright.
Yeah, he's got to work on that every single day. Because one of the things with him, he's a 6'1" young man, and obviously with the style of offense that we run and with the way college football is nowadays, holes open and close really quickly. And a lot of times, the big thing for him is just learning to lower his pads, bend his knees, get that forward body lean. And he worked hard on that, and the thing about it is he wants to get better at that as well.
When he does get better, when he does get more depth in the offense, what can he give you at that point that maybe you can't get from some of the other guys?
What I'm anticipating with Zack is, I see him, continuing to grow and being a 210-pound back, which gives me size and power. Whereas, DJ is probably the biggest back outside of him, and he's only 195 pounds. So he gives us that element of power because, obviously we struggled in short yardage situations last year. So he's the guy that you want to feel confident. Once he continues to put on a little bit of weight, that he'll be that guy that can give you that power out of the backfield. But then also, he's the kind of guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield too. So he'll give you that good mix. Whereas he won't just be a downhill power guy. He'll be a guy that can do everything within the offense, but leaning more towards the power and being able to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Andre Ellington, what at this point in his career, what does he have to do to maybe take one more step forward?
The big thing with Andre is, one, catching the ball better out of the backfield. Obviously, we saw that was something that he needed to work on in the spring and then coming out of last season. And just being able to stay healthy. The big thing with him is, as you saw towards the end of the season, when you got a healthy Andre Ellington, you got something special. The big thing with him, what I'd like to see for him in his game, is to continue to build that mental toughness, to push through the bumps and the bruises of the position, and continue to work to get better at catching the ball out of the backfield.
Physically, is he fine?
Physically, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there anything you guys worked on with him in the offseason, I guess, in the conditioning program to strengthen his legs and prepare him for that pounding that he's going to get as a elite tailback, or is there anything you can do?
Obviously, the folks in the strength and conditioning work with him on a daily basis. The big thing with Andre is he's not a big guy, so he's not going to be a thick-legged, heavy-legged guy. I mean, he's a scat back. that has enough upper body strength to be effective in the short yardage situation. But the big thing with him is just keeping him healthy. You don't want to put too much weight on him lower body wise, because then he'll lose his what he's good at, and that's being able to make that one cut and hit the home run.
Obviously, Andre hasn't gone through a season yet where he hasn't been dinged up or had to miss some time. DJ, do you think he can be the guy if thrown into that situation to where he could do like Andre and carry the offense?
He's going to have to be if that situation arises. And one of the things I tell those guys is hey, you all got to be ready to drive the car, because you never know when someone's going to need a break or something's going to happen. And I think DJ can be that guy, and I think he wants to be that guy. And that's one of the things that I like about what's happening in our room is we're coming together as a unit. We all understand that somebody's going to have to fly lead, but everybody wants to be that lead bird, and everybody's going to be ready to be that lead bird when their opportunity comes. So I definitely think DJ can be that guy. And, you know, we're going to have to be smart with Andre as we prepare for the season, because obviously we know how important he is to this offense. Not just from a physical standpoint, but just from a leadership standpoint, a maturity standpoint, and just that calming factor out there on the field that keeps everybody else calm.
What does the pistol do for your backs?
What does it do for the backs? Well, number one thing is gets the ball to them deeper. They have the ability to get the ball in their hands. It's very similar to the eye, where they get the ball deep, and Andre likes it a lot because he gets the ball deep, he can see everything. And then it also slows the linebackers down a little bit, whereas, you know, they can't key, you can't get any pre-snap reads on where the back is, anticipating what plays are coming, and it gets them downhill and gets them to the line of scrimmage a little bit quicker.
You mentioned consistency with DJ before. Are there specific areas that he needs to be more consistent in, or is it just in general a focus, seeing things slowing down for him?
Just slowing down. You know, as freshmen, they get out there and they think they know everything, and sometimes the things that they think they see are not really what they see. So the big thing with him is just continuing to focus in on a rep-by-rep basis so that it does start to slow down with him.
With this situation, do you see Rod getting some more time as well, being a guy that you're going to have to count on to get some quality carries for you?
Oh, yes, sir. And you know, that's what I want. I want Hot Rod to be that guy that we can count on. And he did a tremendous job this spring. And even with the situation with Mike, he had moved himself towards the lead bunch, because obviously he's the second oldest in the room. He has a good understanding of the offense. He understands defensive recognition. He's got a good skill set. Now he's limited in some of the things that he can do. I mean, he's not a very big guy, so you know, I have to be smart and put him in situations to where he can be successful. But definitely want to see Rod, you know, continue to challenge DJ for that number 2 spot, and being a guy that you feel comfortable and confident that when you put him in there, he's going to get the job done.
You mentioned before turnovers being something you really wanted to cut down on, and you even looked at different ways on how you're coaching things. Did you implement any changes in just your, not necessarily approach, because you never coach turnovers, but just some of the techniques or drills, things that you do?
Right, definitely this camp and going forward, I've gotten some new drills that I want to implement. And a lot of it involves teaching them how to go to the ground with the ball. Because what you notice, especially when we studied Andre, you know, Andre carried it, you know, 213 times and fumbled it twice. Now, obviously, one of those fumbles was probably the biggest fumble of the season. But what you notice on both of those fumbles, anytime his shoulders came from square or were not square going to the ground, then he opened up opportunities for folks to get in there and pull the ball away from him. So we're going to do more drills in camp on working those guys of going to the ground and fighting to keep those shoulders square. You know, counteracting that or counterbalancing that pressure of the defender pulling the ball away, doing some more stuff of just regaining our balance, just put them in positions to where they're not normally, because it's tough. The one thing you don't want to do with those guys is beat them up in drill work. So you gotta think outside the box and try to recreate those body positions and those different sensations that they'll feel in the course of a game without, you know, putting them in a contact situation. So I went out and got a few more drills that I'm going to implement with those guys to help cut down. And you look at Bellamy, obviously Bellamy put the ball on the ground 4 times. And if you look at it, 2 of those were situations where he had reverted back to high school, he had the ball away. The other 2 were just situations where he got hit on the ball by a college defender and he was 178 pounds and it was just, you know, hard for him to hold on to the ball.
Tony, I apologize if you've been asked this before, but I mean, obviously Andre's durability has been questioned the last couple of years. How do you think, can anybody be better prepared to kind of handle the grind of college football season. That, I mean, sometimes a hit is just a hit. You come up giving it. I mean, is he? Do you have any questions or concerns about that going into this year?
No, I don't, and a lot of it is, you know, I think he's really turned that corner from a mental toughness and a maturity standpoint. He understands that, hey, this is my last go round. You know, I decided to come back, and I know the specific reasons why I decided to come back for my senior year, and I understand the expectation and the responsibility that I have as a senior, as a leader, and as a starting tailback. So I think mentally he's prepared, and the biggest thing with him is just continue to prepare every day. Now I do have to be smart and make sure that I'm smart in the amount of reps that I give him in camp, and make sure that he's prepared and ready to play, but at the same time that I'm not putting any undue or unneeded punishment on his body, because he's going to get that punishment and that pain throughout the course of the season.
Tony, when y'all go around in the spring and visit with other staffs like y'all did in Nevada and Oklahoma State and stuff, I mean, talk a little bit about that experience and sort of are you looking for so much for specific things, or are you just looking at a different, you know, somebody else's way of doing things?
Well, I think when we went to Nevada, we were looking for some specific things, because obviously they were the originators of the pistol offense. And what we did last year was, you know, kind of copycat, where we see it and we study it on film, and then you try to implement it. But when you go out and you visit with those guys, you understand the intricate details that really helped us from a pistol standpoint, because you get to say, okay, these are their depths, these are their steps, these are their aiming points. So you start with those specific things, and then as you get in there, you know, coaches, you know, everyone wants to get up and get on the board and see who knows the most. But in the course of that process, you start to open up and you start to share ideas. So things that you went looking for, you get, but then you also get some nuggets that you weren't anticipating or expecting. And that was a tremendous visit, going out to Nevada and visiting with those guys, because they really opened up to us. We opened up to them, and I think we developed a relationship that's going to go forward, that's going to continue to help us. And then when we went to Oklahoma State, we were looking for some specific, you know, throw game things that fit, because obviously when you go and you look at somebody else's offense, their offense, you know, all ties together for them. And so we were trying to just pick out some nuggets that we can implement that would be easy to install within our offense, and they make sense, and then they also complement what we're doing.
The biggest thing you saw from Brooks in the spring, Zack Brooks, that really wanted to hammer home for him to work on over the summer?
The big thing with Zack is, you know, the first couple of practices, when you have a progression of your install, and you kind of start out, you know, from ground zero and work your way up. So once you saw that he was on those first couple of floors, man, he looked great, because it was easy to him. But as you added the complexity of the offense to it, then he started to slow down a little bit. So the big thing I wanted to see from him was use this summer in the skills and drills that we do with the guys to really prepare yourself mentally with the entire offense. And then from a physical standpoint was, you know, understanding, you know, aiming points, understand how important it is to be on track where you're supposed to be, make sure you work on your footwork, because footwork was something that was new to him as well, just like pass protection, but footwork, and then pad level. Obviously, being a 6'1" guy, he's got to learn to get low and run behind his pads.
What are some of the maybe unique things he brings to the table at your position? Because there are a lot of people think you play wide receiver at this level, but I guess that's probably one of the good things. Catch the ball.
Yeah, he has that skill set to where, if we go into any empty sets, then he's a true viable option as a receiver. And then also catching the ball out of the backfield. I mean, that's the one thing that we knew he could do, but that's the one thing that you saw, like, okay, that's his niche. He can really catch the ball out of the backfield, and he'll continue to grow in the other areas as he just gets more experience. Because again, he spent so much time playing running back and receiver, probably more receiver in high school than he did running back. But he's bought in. He wants to be a running back. We want him to be a running back, and he's going to be a good one.
You said he projects to get up there around the 210 range, you hope. Where is he now?
I think he came in about 185, and I'd say he's probably somewhere between 185, 190. But what you're seeing is you're starting to see that his body's starting to change a little bit. He's starting to put on more muscle. Now he's a pretty tight cut kid, so it's probably going to take him a little bit of time, but he definitely does have the frame to get up that heavy.
That's a good question. Outside the Elliott, would you guys like to redshirt him for Bellamy situation?
You would like to, just because of the position, and it's one of the toughest positions to transition to be an every down and effective player. Now, obviously, you saw how we had to use Bellamy in certain situations because, you know, having the expectation that a guy's going to come in as a freshman and be able to understand all the run schemes, understand all his responsibilities from a pass route perspective, and also what all his blocking responsibilities are. That's tough on a young man because if you look at high school ball, most they either put their best player at quarterback or running back, and so that means they're either going to get him the ball or he's going to be out on the route. So a lot of those guys, you know, they have a small understanding of pass protection, but when you get to this level and you got to be in there on third down, and North Carolina's, you know, bringing more than you can block, you know, it's tough.
All set? Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.